The day humanity lost its mind. There are moments in world cycling history where you remember exactly where you were. Well, for that matter, even world history. Like when the Berlin Wall fell, when a great thing happened at the Olympics, or something political went crazy around the world. Now, apparently, we must add another monumental moment. The day someone tried to turn the Tour de France into a ticketed VIP attraction. Yes, someone, some genius, some hyper-capitalist entrepreneur with the moral compass of a scratched Garmin, thought it would be a brilliant idea to slap a price tag on the last 5Ks of Alpe d'Huez for the 2026 Tour de France. Imagine it. A velvet rope on Dutch corner, a QR code scanner held by an underpaid volunteer, and fans being told, "Sorry sir, you can't scream unless you purchase the Alpe d'Huez Ultra Premium Passion Pass, starting at only €79. Fortunately, Christian Prudhomme, the director of Tour de France, patron of saints of common sense, and defender of tradition, stepped in and declared, quote, "Cycling is free by definition." This kind of sentence is that something that deserves to be carved into marble or tattooed across Prudhomme's forehead. Thus, the disaster was avoided, just by the thinnest margin. The Tour de France was saved from becoming the world's saddest Disneyland attraction, so let's talk about it. How the Tour almost turned into a pay-to-pay chaos fest. Let's be blunt, charging fans for access to the last 5Ks of Alpe d'Huez is the worst idea in cycling since someone thought it'd be fun to put cobbles into a mountain stage. It is the kind of idea that could only be conceived in a sterile business meeting by people who have never watched a tour ever, never stood on a climb, and never almost been crushed by a drunk Dutchman in an orange body paint suit. This idea, this absolute masterpiece of delusion, would have fundamentally destroyed the very soul of the sport. First, you've got the sacred social contract of cycling. I genuinely believe cycling operates on a simple, beautiful, and unspoken agreement. The riders suffer, the fans scream for free. That's it. That's the charm. No gate, no admission fee, no €12 plastic beer cup. You know, trying to charge spectators to stand at the top of a summit is like trying to ticket the oxygen in the Alps. It goes against the natural laws of the universe. Cycling is the people's sport. It is chaotic, it is free, it is messy, it is loud, and it is occasionally fueled by 13% Belgian beer and terrifying decision-making. And we love it for exactly that reason. The second problem we have is the moment the spreadsheet people took over. But then comes the company, a mysterious business entity let's not name them, who apparently saw 800,000 screaming fans on Alpe d'Huez and thought, what if money? Never mind that these fans walk for hours, never mind that they camp out overnight, and never mind that they become part of the spectacle itself, the carnival, the carnival-circus hybrid that no other sport can replicate. No, the idea here was, step 1, take a free thing, step 2, call it a premium experience, and step 3, charge €80 for it. Corporate genius, right? Meanwhile, riders are absolutely thinking, honestly, if we're ticketing people for the last 5Ks, can I get paid danger compensation for having to ride through them? Second, we have a huge issue going on. The logistical nightmare, or how not to run a bike race. Now, let's imagine for a second that this atrocity would look like if there were implemented into the races. Let's say it's the morning of stage or whatever it is in 2026. The sun rises over the Alps, the Dutch are already drunk, the Danes are already shirtless, and the French are already yelling at someone. And suddenly, turnstiles. Massive metallic airport-style, turnstiles installed on a mountain road. To enter, fans must line up like they're attending a Coldplay concert. Each one must scan a barcoded ticket, downloaded from a glitchy app called something like, we won't say that, which crashes the moment more than 3 people try to open it. Meanwhile, a guy in a reflective vest is probably mumbling, "Sorry sir, general admission is sold out, but for €250 you can buy the VIP hairpin 3 package, which includes access to a porta potty and a souvenir lanyard." You think I'm exaggerating? Of course I am, but that's exactly the kind of absurdity this scenario invites. Because you cannot control a mountain. You cannot funnel hundreds of thousands of fans into a fenced-off, monetized corridor like they're queuing for a roller coaster. Alpe d'Huez is not Disneyland, though it does contain a similar number of people wearing ridiculous costumes. What about the emotional damage to the soul of cycling? There are 3 core pillars of the Tour de France: pain, chaos, 3 screaming humans lining mountain roads. Take away the third and you basically have Tour de France, the quiet, sad version. Imagine Jonas Vingegaard climbing alone for a sterile, silent corridor. Imagine Pogacar attacking without the roar of thousands at his back. Imagine fans forced to stay behind metal gates, clapping politely like they're at a golf tournament. No cowbells, no inflatable bananas, no drunk Australians dressed as kangaroos, no guy running up the road with a Slovak flag yelling, "Sagan, come back!" Just quiet. Cycling is not meant to be quiet. It is meant to be a symphony of chaos. To ticket it is to neuter it. And, the worst part, you know this would only be the beginning. Today they'll take the Alps, tomorrow Mont Ventoux for £10 per hairpin, and next year, well, want to see the peloton? Please subscribe to Tour Pass Premium to unlock this view. Before you know it, roadside cheering would be available only in the Tour de France fan zone, presented by some weird company. Christian Prudhomme is a hero in this situation. Luckily, this guy, a man who understands cycling better than anyone in a suit ever has, stepped in and shut it down faster than Jonas shuts down an attack. He essentially said, quote, "Cycling is free and will always be free. We are not selling tickets for the roadside. That is not under consideration." Translation: have you lost your damn mind? Prudhomme didn't just slam the brakes. He pulled the brakes, threw them into a ravine and said, "Never speak of this again." And that moment saved the Tour de France, because if they had allowed this once, even once, it would have ended the Tour's identity forever, in my opinion. How this could have destroyed the Tour's future, and why we should be terrified if it was even considered. Let's talk about the long-term disaster this almost unleashed. Firstly, you've got the slippery slope to hell theory. Once money enters the equation, it never leaves. Imagine that they ticket the Alpe d'Huez. It sells out, obviously, because cycling fans are freaks of passion and will mortgage their house for a good view. Then, the next year, someone says, well, if we monetize 5 kilometers, why not 10 kilometers? Then 20. Then the entire mountain. Oh, and then every major climb. And suddenly, the Tour de France now is just microtransactions. Want to stand at the summit? €40. Want a spot on Dutch corner? €90. Want to run alongside the riders like a dangerous maniac? Sorry, that's prohibited unless you purchase the fan engagement add-on pack. You laugh, but this is how it happens. A small idea becomes a big precedent. And just like that, the soul of cycling can collapse. It's very, very realistic. What about the death of accessibility? Cycling's greatest strength is it is the most accessible sport in the world. A billionaire and a farmer can stand shoulder to shoulder on a mountainside watching this same event at the same distance for free. That is sacred. Ticketing would divide fans into VIPs, the rich, normies, everyone else. People who climb the mountain at 2 a.m. without a ticket and now need to hide in the woods will definitely become way more common. So, the Dutch. But imagine the outrage, the genuine social injustice of telling fans, you cannot cheer your heroes unless you can pay. Goodness me, I had to cover this one. Comment down below your opinions in the comment section, I really want to hear these. Leave a like on the video for good luck and subscribe if this is your first time here to stay up to date with all of my videos and uploads.